Hey folks, now you want to walk the French way, and I tell you how to get to Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, and some minor things that you should take into account when organizing your first day. Now in general, there's two different options to get to Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port. One via Biarritz and one via Paris. I don't want to talk about Biarritz. Never used this option, and I read that getting from Biarritz to Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port is a bit of a mess. We don't want that on our first day. From Paris, there is a train, high-speed train, it's called the SJPdP, going from Paris to Bayonne, I think in about 4 or 5 hours. From Bayonne, there's a local train to Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port. It's about 1 hour ride. Yeah, last years I was there, was construction on the railway, and we are going by bus, but was comfy, not big of a deal. Now the option via Paris, very comfy, but yeah, in best case scenario, you arrive late in the evening at Saint-Jean. Sometimes even too late for dinner. Usually, the last 3 times before, I went to Bayonne, took me a hotel room, and early next morning I was going to Saint-Jean, arrived there at around 9 a.m. and then I started my walk. Easy. Now there's one thing you should keep in mind. The local train from Bayonne to Saint-Jean goes only every, 4 hours, something like that. And depending on when you leave at Bayonne, you arrive either 9 a.m. or late in the evening or around 1 p.m. That's not bad. Problem is, in general, at 1 p.m. the pilgrim's office is closed. Either you wait for several hours until they open again, or you start walking without your first sail. If it's your first Camino, it's not nice, especially because pilgrim's office at Saint-Jean, very nice people working there, speaking all kinds of languages, giving you tons of information. That's nice. Therefore, this time I want to start early in the morning at Cologne, go to Paris, Bayonne, Saint-Jean, all on one day. And when I arrive late in the evening, I guess I book a hotel room. Or an albergue, I don't know. Haven't decided yet. Something like that. But I want to make it a one day, and next day in the morning, after a good breakfast, gonna start my walk. And now the next day, what many, countless people underestimate. Look in the book, it says Saint-Jean to Roncesvalles, 25k. Not big of a deal. But it's not only the 25k, it's also roughly 1,400 meters of elevation, about more than 4,000 feet. And not only that, once you reach on the top, it goes down for another 600 or 800 meters. Many people starting the next day with taped knees, limping like in a zombie apocalypse. Now people say first day over the Pyrenees is the hardest day on the Camino. It's not. The hardest is Josebrero. Prove me wrong. What makes the first day that hard is the fact that it is the first day. You're not used to it. I never did it before, and I will never, ever do it. So, on my first day, I stop at the albergue Horizon. Small albergue, about 50 beds, 50. Cost, I think, 45 euros, roundabout. But they offer awesome community dinner included, good breakfast, and Horizon is about 8k from Saint-Jean, while also already on 800 meters of elevation. So once you arrive there, you have the worst part behind you. And the next morning, you can walk easily the last 600 meters up. I do not understand why so many people don't do it. But since at Saint-Jean hundreds of pilgrims start and Horizon has only 50 beds, you have to make a reservation before. I made my reservation on this weekend, and yesterday I paid my deposit, so I'm safe. But 50 beds is not much. And let's say getting a bed by walk-in, forget about it. Never worked. And another advantage that we should not leave out of sight is when you start the next day at Horizon at about, let's say, between 7 and 8, another, don't know, 4 hours walk, you arrive at Roncesvalles 1 p.m. Easy. No reservation needed. Now when you start in Saint-Jean, I don't know, 7 hours, 8 hours walk, you arrive late in the afternoon. Never happened to me, but I've heard that Roncesvalles was closed due to too many pilgrims. So I think definitely makes sense to organize your first, maybe your second day, depending on the size of your balls. But after Roncesvalles, I don't think it's necessary anymore. You can just walk. But first 1 or 2 days, don't stress yourself too much. Your Camino should be a relaxed walk. Now you arrive at Saint-Jean, you walk your Camino. One day you hopefully arrive at Santiago de Compostela. How to get back home? Now Santiago has an airport, but it's not that big. But from Santiago you can get to Madrid or Barcelona. From there you can reach any destination around the world. And from Santiago to the airport, when you're not starting too early in the morning, there's a shuttle bus starting in the old town. I don't know, 3 euros, 4 euros. You can even go by cab. It's just about 20 euros to the airport. And you can make a reservation for a cab. And I did this last 2 times. And all I can say is they are heck of in time. Almost German, very impressive. But last time I didn't do that. Last time I went by bus from Santiago to Porto. And Porto is a big international airport. And that's amazing. And from Porto, you can easily go back to, let's say, Germany, which is not possible from Santiago. This being said, you know, I always say, grass doesn't grow out of my pocket. It's a German proverb. And maybe you have different options. Maybe there's something that I could learn from you. Write it down in the comments. So far, stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned. Buon Camino.